Hello my lovely people and welcome to our channel Counsel and Quote. So this is another video of our Jordan Peterson series in which we are going to share with you 30 best Jordan Peterson responsibility quotes. So without even wasting a second, let's get started with our video. It's in responsibility that most people find the meaning that sustains them through life. It's not in happiness, it's not in impulsive pleasure. Adopt responsibility for your own well-being. Try to put your life together. Try to serve your community. Try to seek for eternal truth. That's the sort of thing that can ground you in your life. Enough so that you can withstand the difficulty of life. No one gets away with anything ever, so take responsibility for your own life. Accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. Don't be dependent at all, ever, period. If you want to occupy the C-suite or the top 1/10 of 1% in any organization, you have to be obsessively devoted to your career at the expense of everything else. And women look at that and they think, no. As pessimistic as I am about the nature of human beings and our capacity for atrocity and malevolence and betrayal and laziness and inertia and all those things, I think we can transcend all that and set things straight. People have this capacity within them to set the world straight. The answer to the problem of inequality is for the people who are fortunate enough to either have been gifted or deserved more to do everything they can to make the communities around them as strong as they possibly can. It's not proper for the government to intrude too thoroughly into the domain of the family. It's inappropriate. It's very difficult to regulate yourself, and if you learn to do that, well, it starts to spill over. To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. It means deciding to voluntarily transform the chaos of potential into the realities of habitable order. It means adopting the burden of self-conscious vulnerability and accepting the end of the unconscious paradise of childhood, where finitude and mortality are only dimly comprehended. It means willingly undertaking the sacrifices necessary to generate a productive and meaningful reality. It means acting to please God in the ancient language. You are going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do and everything you don't do. You don't get to choose to not pay a price. You get to choose which poison you are going to take. That's it. When you have something to say, silence is a lie. If you don't say what you think, then you kill your unborn self. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. To suffer terribly and to know yourself as the cause, that is hell. The purpose of life, as far as I can tell, is to find a mode of being that's so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant. If you are not willing to be a fool, you can become a master. You must determine where you are going in your life, because you cannot get there unless you move in that direction. Random wandering will not move you forward. It will instead disappoint and frustrate you and make you anxious and unhappy and hard to get along with, and then resentful and then vengeful and then worse. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. In order to be able to think, you have to risk being defensive. Don't underestimate the power of vision and direction. These are irresistible forces, able to transform what might appear to be unconquerable obstacles into traversable pathways and expanding opportunities. There's some real utility in gratitude. Strengthen the individual. Start with yourself. Take care with yourself. Define who you are. Refine your personality. Choose your destination and articulate your being as that the great 19th century German philosopher Nietzsche so brilliantly noted. He whose life has a why can bear almost anyhow. It takes careful observation and education and reflection and communication with others just to scratch the surface of your beliefs. Sometimes, when people have a low opinion of their own worth, or perhaps when they refuse responsibility for their lives, they choose a new acquaintance of precisely the type who proved troublesome in the past. Such people don't believe that they deserve any better, so they don't go looking for it. Or perhaps they don't want the trouble of better. Freud called this a repetition compulsion. He thought of it as an unconscious drive to repeat the horrors of the past, sometimes perhaps to formulate those horrors more precisely, sometimes to attempt more active mastery, and sometimes perhaps because no alternatives beckon. People create their worlds with the tools they have directly at hand. Faulty tools produce faulty results. Repeated use of the same faulty tools produces the same faulty results. It is in this manner that those who fail to learn from the past doom themselves to repeat it. It's partly fate, it's partly inability, it's partly unwillingness to learn, refusal to learn, motivated refusal to learn. The better ambitions have to do with the development of character and ability rather than of status and power. Status you can lose, you carry character with you wherever you go, and it allows you to prevail against adversity. If you are going to insist on bending the world to your way, you better have your reasons. If you are going to stand your ground, you better have your reasons. You better have thought them through. You might otherwise be in for a very hard landing. So listen to yourself and to those with whom you are speaking. Your wisdom then consists not of the knowledge you already have, but the continual search of knowledge, which is the highest form of wisdom. Thank you so much, people, for sticking to the last. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.